What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the fifth album by rapper Future. Basically, this product is called Self-Titled Future, and it came out in the winter of 2017. So fair about this product here. The fair about this product here within the factoid behind it is Future had the fair about this product here within the factoid behind it, Future had a pretty tremendous type fare throughout the mid 2010s, pitches like that. He had a pretty high grade string of hit albums that happened in the mid 2010s, some of those type fares, in addition to 2014 being a large year as well. So Future particularly had a pretty large streak. There were some things pretty much just from 2012 forward, I guess more or less say he just hit the ground running within those pitches for those formats going to happen. But 2014's Monster did pretty excellent on the underground and buzz type scene, pitches like that. Dirty Sprite 2 was excellent. Some of those type ones like 56 Days and Nights, some of those type pitches were pretty excellent. The ones that he did, I think with DJ Esco, some of those type pitches. So there were some ones in there. It's definitely to say that Dirty Sprite 2 is like a new era classic within these pitches as far as these ordeals can happen, especially in the Spotify era. Some of that pitches of the format. Evol was pretty good within those pitches, had some good buzz type appeal. The joint album he did with Drake, What a Time to Be Alive, had some excellent type pitches, despite the fact they only had one single. That was a good look for Future, good look for Drake, some of those type ordeals. It's just further kind of a victory lap type fare within the aspect of it, but it's kind of a brooding type product within the tone behind it here. This is not as full bound kind of crazy. I mean, it's a bulky album, which is excellent type pitch within these products of it. This is a large, excellent, massive album within these pitches as far as these fares they have. So the Future goes. So there's an excellent variety of songs in here within these pitches behind it, but in terms like it feels different from like the Future that was kind of there within like the 2011, 2012 type days, 2010 type days pitches. It feels minorly different from like the 2010, 2011, 2012 Future within those pitches. Now, it's not to say different in terms of like it being a different work of art from like a different art or something like that, but it's just kind of pitch as far as saying the fury behind this product, you would have thought that there would have been like a ferocious kind of amount of songs on here with like the bravado of like the whole like Dirty Sprite 2, and I reviewed that back in the fall of 2024. That's a very vicious album to be able to get towards that. That was just blitzkrieg after blitzkrieg within some of those type of ordeals. The whole album was just swamped as hell, just annihilative within the aspects as far as those songs that happen. This kind of mellows out the drug use. This particular product, despite the fact the album cover kind of being trippy within the aspect of something very amber-like within the tone, it is something that feels like a fossil within the aspect as far as those tones can have. This particular pitch, it has more moments on here where Future fleshed out some differential type sounds. Once again, it's kind of the format, Pluto kind of did this within a relative type aspect, trying to bring pop trap to more of the formats, but this particular album actually got some of Future's largest hits for the time as far as this first gonna happen. Apparently, like Mask Off was a top 5 single. Originally, I thought that song hit #1, but it's kind of the pitch as far as saying, yeah, it's kind of the pitch as far as saying it was a pretty big deal of a song back in those particular days. And then just on top of that, Future went in with like the Hendrix album that came out after that. Because originally, back in 2013, Future's second album was going to be called Future Hendrix as far as was first going to happen. It got replaced with Honest, but it's kind of the pitch as far as saying that Future Hendrix was originally going to be that one. It's kind of the pitch, excellent type fare for some of that, just little known fact. It's a relative little known nowadays, I have to say kind of within the pitch as far as saying, but he dropped this particular album within the fair behind as far as the excellence of it kind of happens. So it just has a widespread type appeal within some of these type pitches, just the aspect as far as getting towards the bounty of some of these type ones. Just kind of more, I mean, to say it's a victory, I mean, this album's going to get simple enough at 10 out of 10 within these pitches as far as these fairs going to happen. Just a blistering type one within the ordeals as far as getting towards like the aspect of having like the particular shreddiness, and it does have typical type highlights from Future, like Same Damn Time from those back in those days, and like hits from Future back in those days, like Same Damn Time and Best to Shine. Some of those ones within those pitches, definite formats like that, Move That Dope. Some of those pitches within the burn up type fare of it. Other type singles like Jumpman and some of those type ones within the pitch, and Itch and some of those type formats within the pitch behind it. Other type singles like that within those pitches as far as those first kind, but it's just excellent within the fair. So this is a pretty wild type one. Just I would say just minorly less vicious kind of bite. Now I recommend every song off this product. So simple enough, 10 out of 10. Well, really out of the 20 songs on here on the deluxe edition, there's 20, but the only song I'm not going to talk about within those fashions is just the Mask Off remix. Now that has Kendrick Lamar on there, which is excellent type pitch back when he was kind of doing more features around that particular fair amongst some of those type times. So it is kind of more or less like a secret kind of or less. Kind of within the passage is some good type fare, but I'm not going to talk about that one because it's the same type product of it. Original Mask Off's pretty excellent within those ordeals as well. So it's just going to pitch. Yeah, but I look after here, so there are 4 singles on this product, at least 3 unlike the standard edition. The deluxe edition has the 4th single, which was kind of a buzz single for this product. Used to this with Drake, as far as what's going to happen. But Draco is like a marbled and jarred kind of homebound surf around to kind of go within the aspects of it here. Just need to sit down a little bit from like the trippy type fare. Just hell a head trip within these aspects, I'd have to say. It's kind of more local and wine within some type pitches within the format as far as what's aspects going to happen. Just kind of more or less kind of screw around type music with an aspect for us what tone's gonna happen. Just not take it. It's almost comical and kind of sniggering with the aspects for us what tone's gonna happen. Just lackadaisical, just something that kind of feels more loosened up and not quite as normal trap snarl within those pitches. But this is definitely a pretty drug addled type song within those pitches as far as those formats gonna happen. Just really have the trip out type fare within the pitch as far as those tones gonna happen. Watch like some Mind Demencia or some stand-up comedy, some of those type pitches, Chappelle's show pitches like that within some type ordeals, get the memes going, visit Know Your Memes, some of those type pitches within form. So good type fare within socialized type product, excellent aspects. Mask Off is the second single. It's a good type one. Now this particular one, these singles out this particular product are all differential from like the normal tone for Future. And it's kind of different than the ordeal as far as saying just the appeal for some of these. It kind of widened like his hit potential within these aspects, just because all 3 of these songs, you would think that one of Future's highest charting songs would be a song like Jumpman or Itchin', some of those type ones, Tony Montana, and like Best to Shine, and some of these type ones, Same Damn Time pitches like that, some of those type ones, Never End, some of those type pitches, even songs for ladies like Never End, and some of those type ones with an aspect. And than some of those type fairs. But Mask Off is, yeah, completely one of, it's not Future's signature song, but it is probably one of the larger spread type ones on the pitch. But it just kind of has a differential type tone. Just a very much pull up type song that just has that a gas type feel. This is the sort of stuff that late 2010s trap was starting to do as it started to cross over within the aspect. I feel like in terms of vanilla late 2010s trap, something that's recognizable, that not dis folks within the more kind of mixtape bound typeness in the Dat Piff era and league kind of would fuck around with, but actually the product of maybe like the occasional type folk where folks that are more target bound and Panera bread pitches like that. Places like Kmart and Shoe Carnival, some of those type pitches within the format, just kind of aspect as far as saying just a typical type one that has like that breakthrough as far as this pitch can happen. Mask Off is the sort of song that Future needed way more of. It's not to say within the pitch that he didn't have the capability, because I mean within these aspects, I mean it's easy enough to say that Dirty Sprite 2 was a blistering type classic, but it's just kind of the ordeal as far as saying in terms of like the chart type appeal, that one was just a little bit more hardcore within. That was like basically like what that album described as Dirty Sprite 2. Dirty Sprite 1 was a mixtape from the early 2010s. It's just the aspect like the advancement of that particular sound. So I had a lot of mixtape snarl in there. This particular one just has some above ground type moments similar to like Pluto from 2012. And then I would also say there's another one that kind of did that, some of those type moments like Streets Calling by Future from 2011. So those type aspects that kind of had that commercial bound typeness. But it's kind of an aspect that this is just excellent type pull up and just kind of stunt type music with an aspect, just something that's notable within the pitch, like some casual type appeal. Then Extra Love with YG's the third single. It's a real nice one here on here. Extra Love with YG is a real nice one, as well as like a glissy kind of neighborhood saunter, just some pop trap and bopping kind of vanilla candy kind of drift as far as those aspects going to happen. Yeah, some real excellent kind of vanilla candy kind of pop trap type aspects within tone as far as this pitch can happen. Just great drift around. Extra Love is some nice winter breeze and drift around as far as this pitch can happen, just kind of within a new era type trap test. And it's just a new style for some of these type pitches. Like I said, all 3 of these singles particularly approach Future from like differential type angles that are new to like the fashion what he was particularly doing around that time. So this really heightened and like varietized like his aspects of like his repertoire as far as this pitch can have. But these are some good type ordeals here, excellent within pitch. And the 4th single is used to it. Then the 4th single is used to this with Drake as far as this pitch can happen. It's another nice one, good, excellent further team up with Drake as far as these assets going to happen. Just a good local trap brooding, kind of get within the tones behind it here. Just vintage Zaytoven and like a clean radio grab as far as this pitch going to happen. Just some good type fare within those assets as far as those tones can happen. So just within the pitch, just very much feels like Gucci Mane type fare, some of those type pitches within the format as far as those tones going to happen with it. It's a good type grab for getting towards the Atlanta type sound of being that within the commercial type aspects like some pop trap as far as those pitch camps. So just kind of the format. Some excellent type product is usually Zaytoven is kind of more mixtape bound, but some excellent type pitches kind of get some of these type ones to kind of have that for like another vanilla candy type aspect within the tone, just some commercial bound typeness. Kind of has some similarities to Nelly's Dilemma from way back in 2002. Excellent type pitch, kind of get some of this in the forward type sense. Just kind of local brooding with the aspect to some of those type fares that feels like an after product. It's something that Tupac would have done like in 95, 96. It's in a more kind of 2016, 2017 trap type sense from the aspect of like new era type fares. It's that kind of lament similar to songs like I Ain't Mad at You and some of those type pitches and Picture Me rolling within those aspects. Just kind of the tone as far as those pitches kind of go. Yeah, I recommend every song off this album, so it gets a 10 out of 10 within these pitches. So just the aspect as far as saying, there's some ones on here that has some good type fare in like a personal type sense, like When I Was Broke. It's like a nostalgic kind of extra moments of accomplish. I'd say within the products over here, just hit sunset gaze and kind of thought as far as this pitch kind of goes. So just the aspect, some good type fashions, like some extra type moments, just like the fair where it's not so much at a venue or divas or vehicles in mind, pitches like that, or stunt type fashion. Some of those type fairs are smoke products, but just kind of extra type product to just reflect within some type fairs. Because yeah, by this particular stage, Future is becoming a heavyweight in the game within those pitches. So he was in his new school compared to like 2011, 2012 pitches like that. So it's just kind of the ordeal as far as saying it's just the product as far as getting towards that, having like some reflecting songs type tones. Now those type songs were on Pluto and Honest songs type pitches as well in the mixtape. So this kind of pitch as far as saying it's a good above ground type one for some extra type fare. Feds Did Sweep is another one like that as well. Another personal type one. It's like Amigos similar. Feels very similar to some of those type ones like Hit 'em from like Migos in 2014. Some of those type pitches, but it's like Amigos similar kind of lament and more stories kind of get within the aspect. Good reflect type song. And I'd say just smoke up real nice. This particular one just a good type hit. So just nice to have some of these type products within reflect like that particular fair, just extra type noise, just more kind of in a more typical this neighborhood type product, just kind of sauntering some of those type aspects. Now I'd say more or less within the fashion, what they would particularly kind of be within the tones as far as getting towards it, just some of these homebound type ones whether it is this house cleaning type fare or going on snack runs, getting some errands done, groceries, some of those type pitches. But it's just kind of the format. Some of these type ones are kind of commerce type ones within the pitch, but it doesn't as full bound kind of designated within those tones. It's kind of the product of just figuring out like the neighborhood kind of saunter, whether it is just smoking like a joint or something in the yard or something. Whether it is just smoking like a joint or something within the yard, just some easy kind of aspects, just with just getting like this porch type music or just neighborhood struts and strolls, some of those type pitches, but very much this product's actually a little bit more neighborhood compared to like Dirty Sprite 2 from 2015, and probably I would also say the What a Time to Be Alive from 2015 as well as some of that pitch. But this excellent type fare. I need to get around to purchasing Evolve from 2016 because I have less memory about that product. But it's good type fares. Pop and Tags, the real accent type one on here. This is Vintage Future. It's like a woozy and burning hot kind of trap snarl kind of get. Just throwback to early 2010s mixtape type fare. It's kind of pitch. These are the necessary type ones. When you think of some of those type ones, like Same Damn Time and pitches like that, some of those type furious type ones with an aspect. Best to Shine, some of these type ones, Everything Hours, some of these type pitches off of FBG, the movie, and Astronaut Status, some of those type pitches when the format behind is these typical type flares and burners as far as these pitches can happen. It's unfortunate that Casino wasn't on this product. That would have been some good type fares too. I guess he was kind of fading more into like the background within those type pitches, but it's just some excellent type product to just these particular fares as far as saying that the Rilers are definitely on here because they are on here, but just within the fear. I guess more or less to kind of say like Pluto did not have a shit ton of kind of songs. I guess to say within the fury of it, Pluto did not have a shit ton of these type songs within the aspect of songs like Same Damn Time and Tony Montana, some of those type pitches, but it's kind of within the format. I would actually say this album probably has like 3 or 4 or 5 of these within the pitch behind it, but it's just not compared to how vicious that Dirty Sprite 2 kind of was. Just doesn't have like the same kind of blistering type aspect within the full boundness. It's a little bit more varietized and balanced, but it's an excellent type pitch. Another one that's just like Pop and Tags would be Flip. It's like a necessary throwback to like Flip is like a necessary kind of throwback trap rumble to kind of get just from Pluto as far as this is going to happen. Just going ham. I would definitely say here, just some strip club noise that I have to suppose about it. Just sturdy Sprite 2 type vibe as far as this pitch can happen. So just excellent type Conic getting these pitches, is belting out some of these type ones, his future and his prime doing some of those type aspects. The thing about this particular album, I would almost feel like Future from 2017. I don't know about Hendrix type yet, but I'd probably say Future from 2017 reminds me of like probably Future's Eminem show, some of those type pitches. If Dirty Sprite 2 would probably be his Marshall Mathers LP, but then Pluto from 2012 would probably more or less be Slim Shady LP, some of those type pitches, just some of those type pitches. This kind of has a conduct as far as saying some of those type pitches, just kind of the format. This does have some good glancing blows within a pretty excellent type aspect, even if like the carnage is not as severe this time. It's not to say that this album is not like a kind of warning label kind of party album within these pitches, but it's this kind of format that there's just not the fear is just it's to minorly be noticed with an aspect that the bite, It's just to minorly be noticed with an aspect. There's just not as much full bound fury, but still aspect there's some viciousness on here. Definitely, I have to say. Another nice one for some of these type aspects that has a nice switch up on here is Massage in My Room. It's a good type product. Future had like 20 divas on this particular song as far as those pitch kind of have a good excellent products like a homebound kind of sparkiness and social flash can get within these products here. It's very exotic and electricity as far as these pitch kind of have. So just within the fair, just that typical kind of strip club and venue type noise, just not at a script. It's like that typical kind of strip club and venue type noise, just not at like an outing type fair within some of these type pitches, just more homebound within the electricity of it, just bringing some of that carnage in like a social type spot, more to homebound domain type turf type music within the pitch behind its accent type product. Is getting like some of that club type appeal, just a more localized type sense, good accent type product. Might as well as a quality one within these pitches, as well as like a plush and serenaded kind of trap girl and polished bay kind of layup as far as these pitches kind of happen. It's a great song to unwind some of those type fairs within a more domain type fair, just in a more soft core type sense. It's a more soft core type sense. Good song for spill as far as those pitch kind of have. So just to miss the product as far as saying within those tones behind it. It's those typical kind of IG story type ones within the pitch as far as those formats kind of happen, chunking up the deuce, just figuring out some of those type products. It's a typical kind of IG type format type stuff in the pitch. Just like the fair disc, some Pop Smoke and Lil Durk type some Pop Smoke and Lil Durk type disc kickbacks for those press guys. So just in the pitch, like the necessary kind of pop trap in the pitch, just more R&B. Actually, I'd probably say it's more trap R&B pitches like that as far as this is going to happen. Very much the stuff that was decorated with Instagram songs I pitched. So I'd say Zoom is a pretty excellent type one on here. It's like a trippy and warped kind of local street wander, kind of get within the aspects of it here. Feeling nice, I'd say within the products of it. Just by nice, I mean tore up songs I pitch. It's probably a pukey type song with the aspect within the tones, within a responsible type sense, not dangerous, but just the pukey type there. Just maybe having a beer or two too many songs I pitch, some of those type products, but just kind of some enjoyment about it. I had to say within the product, just lit type song. The song goes pretty well with Draco, but just not as much homebound. This is kind of more out and about within the fair as far as those pitches kind of happen with it. Good dope is excellent as well within these products as far as these pitches kind of happen. It's like a brooding and roaring kind of trap evening uprise, kind of get within the conics of it here. Just grab supply some of those type products within the pitch as far as those pitches kind of happen. It's one of those type ones that's picking up like a box of beer, some products like that, Crown Royal, Bacardi, some of those type formats within the pitch behind it. Just kind of map out some blitz as far as those pitches kind of happen. It's kind of the product. There's actually not a ton of primer type songs on here as far as these pitch can happen. Now, I feel like the difference between it is just the fact that I noticed that it's kind of more amidst the action, more so than like the product. As far as thinking, there's going to be like the songs for like, okay, it's Wednesday or it's Thursday, going to get to Friday. It's actually within the fair that you do get your healthy helping of Friday and Saturday type songs to the pitch, but just in terms of like a more makeshift kind of dredge type format. It doesn't have as many flip mode type songs within the pitch as far as saying just those products as far as getting towards like the fair, like the conduit type moments. It's not to say like this album doesn't do that. It does have some commercial type moments, but the singles are kind of designated to differential type things. It's kind of within the product of like pull up type fair, but it's just interesting that this is a pop trap type album within the pitch, but it doesn't really embrace like the makeshift bound typeness as far as trying to be something within a rhythmic type format alike. Thinking of like a song like you would think like some sort of ballad or something like that within those tones as far as something that would kind of be kind of like a song like Nelly's Dilemma or one of those type ones, or kind of like a song within the fashion. So like Whatever You Like by T.I. or some of those type pitches, or Soul Survivor by Jeezy, some of those type pitches. Not to say like he doesn't fuck with those songs, but it's just kind of pitches as far as saying it's just not as much pop trap within the usual kind of template of it as far as this pitch kind of goes. Accent type formats, but Super Trap is a real accent type one. It says real accent type production on here, real standout. It's like a butter smooth kind of trap weaving and commerce kind of get within the products of it here. This is pretty passive type song, but it's productive. I'd have to say just real hot type one. Another thing you notice is just that in terms of like the hustle type songs, this is not so much amidst like the hustle of on the grind shift pitch, just like that within those fairs of stacking up money. It's not like it doesn't get to money, but it's kind of the fair as far as already being established enough to where you don't have to focus as much on like the work type mode. It's actually interesting that this product really doesn't focus as much full bound kind of on the grind shift of like the particular type format of it. It's just kind of fair as far as saying this is very much like you get plenty. You do get the aspect of like the turn up type moments on here, but within the pitch, it has some neighborhood type moments within these aspects as well. But it's kind of fair as far as saying it's actually a lot further kind of neighborhood type moments, just more in a typical type mixtape does sense like that sauntering within pitch, just kind of in like some neighborhood kind of mess hall type jaunts as far as those pitches kind of more amidst like the product of having like the particular kind of productiveness within those fairs. So it's just the pitches for us saying, but it's accent type conduct getting towards that. Now, rent, I don't know if I talked about rent money, but rent money's a nice one. So within these pitches, rent money's like a horrific kind of new era, but familiar kind of trap scare to kind of get within the products of it here. Very aghast and stony, some of those type pitches, but just an excellent type loud pack within some of those type fairs. And this is a real nice turn up type one to really kick off the album as far as these pitches can happen. This feels like future from back. Rent money feels like future from back in this 2011, 2012 type days, 2013. Some of those pitches within the format, just more almost horrorcore, but not quite as full bound, but just more amidst the gas type format, like something real scraggly pitches like that's a good type ordeal. Nice hauntiness. Scrape is a nice one within these pitches within that product, as well as like a dope routine kind of Zaytoven trap lounge around kind of get within the products of it here. Just some mellow kind of Taco Bell and extra grab as far as these pitches kind of happen. So just kind of some homies type noise in the format. Just kind of the fair goes along with used to this pretty well within these pitches. Just kind of the format as far as like that Tibble type noise, just the kind of swash type mixtape type fair within the pitch as far as those tones going to happen. There is a number of Zaytoven type productions on here. It's actually pretty excellently produced in these products, like familiar type faces, Metro Boomin, Tarantino, Southside. Some of these type producers are on here. It's too bad that Lex Luger wasn't on here, but the Beat Bully's on here. Some of these type folks in the pitch behind it. Trey Pounds, Jake won some of these type products within it, the Olympics. So this is good type fair. So despite the fact that this kind of has like some pop trap type appeals about it within like a new era type sense, just melding like some new sounds like the format of what Future had, just keeping things sparky and interesting within those type of ordeals. It very much does feel like an expansion of like a mixtape type product within those aspects. So this kind of the tone, just getting like a commercial mixtape within some of those type of ordeals, but this has the pitch like Neighborhood Bound, the Taco Bell runs, those type pitches, the Smoke product, the Neighborhood Aaron, some of these type pitches, the DAP nearby, some of these type products of it. Like some new taste of lament and pitches like that. And I think that about covers everything else I've talked about on here. I think one of the last ones I haven't talked about on here is possibly like I'm So Groovy, which I'm So Groovy is like a neighborhood funk and similar kind of night fair to Itchin' from like back. I'm So Groovy is like a neighborhood funk and similar type night fair to Itchin' from like the 2012 astronaut status type days with them pitches like that. Just some vintage features as far as these pitches kind of happen. So just excellent within a product. It's nice taste of some of those type fair. So yeah, just excellent type nostalgia about this product as far as these tones going to happen. Has some recognizable type not so much retread, but just the aspect of like familiar faces with an aspect like some new type bite within snarl, but just reminding of like the fact that future it's been, just the ways that it's been since 2011, 2012 pitches like that, 2010. Excellent type products. No, I think there might be a couple more. I haven't talked about some of these type pitches. I don't think I've talked about high demand and POA. So POA, power of attorney, is like a nice mid-tempo kind of riler to get within these aspects. This new era kind of trap drive, I'd say. Great song to get crunk to. Great addition to like the Dirty Sprite 2 type heat within those aspects. So this kind of format, loving the Dirty Sprite 2 albums, those type pitches, like a good type product like that, similar type bounce for some of those Furious type ones. That this necessary type product to keep that heat that Future is known for within those products as far as what's pitch going to happen. So I don't think I'm talking about high demand. There might be one other type one I haven't talked about as well. Like there's a particular one I'm trying to think of that. Oh yeah, Out of Time. So some of these type pitches. So I'm going to talk about Out of Time. Out of Time is a nice one. Out of Time is like a glissy and bedazzle kind of throwback to like mid 2000s kind of mixtape soul. I'd have to say about it here. Just some DJ drama kind of floats as far as these aspects going to happen. So very much is Future doing like the type song that was kind of popular 2005, 2006 with folks like Jeezy, T.I., Lil Wayne. It's excellent type product considering that. I think DJ Drama has crossed paths with Future in some degree of product. Yeah, he did do like FBG the movie. Some of those type pitches was just kind of fair as far as saying that he kind of missed like the mid 2000s type format within some of those type fairs. So it's just good type pitch. If you ever wonder what Future would sound like on like a DJ Drama kind of mixtape from like the mid 2000s, that's a good taste of that as far as this pitch kind of go. And I think the last one I haven't talked about on here is High Demands, like a zoning and in a mode kind of focus, kind of get within the tones behind it, just get some tasks done. I'd have to say home or outs, either type way, just the product of just being productive, just some usual kind of errand fare as far as this pitch kind of go. So it's the aspect of just hopping to it, getting that particular product. So this is one of those type ones that has a little bit more productive type aspect within the tone, just like the traffic and so on type fares within a makeshift type sense, just to miss the tone and just out and about. Kind of within the fair, the productive type commute and things like that within the pitch, as far as just getting the wrap up within some type products. Yeah, so it's kind of within the fair. So this album gets a 10 out of 10. The social score I'm going to give more or less like a 10 out of 10 as well. It's not to say like it doesn't deserve it. It was just kind of the pitch as far as saying the Fury is definitely on here within Sunny Stuff pitches as the neighborhood crawls. These Zaytoven, Metro Boomin, Southside type productions are real excellent on here. Some of these type products just the Rilers are definitely on here in a pretty vicious type supply as far as these pitches going to happen. The singles are some new tastes of some things as far as these pitches kind of go. You do get the product like some good type fare, just like the Commerce and things like that, or just neighborhood John, some of those type fares, this mellow kind of Taco Bell and things like that. Just kind of the lament of things, the war story, some of these type pitches, just like the product of this after effect, but just kind of has to tone like some balance as far as those pitches gonna happen. Just a good type product of this neighborhood type fair, just kind of new boots, old dirt as far as those pitches gonna happen just within the pitch, as far as talking about those particular fairs, as far as those aspects gonna happen within the product, just like some fairs, just kind of familiar, but within new type treads as far as those pitch gonna happen. So just the excellent aspect of getting towards some of that and keeping things sparky and interesting, despite the fact that future keeping things sparky and interesting for future and like some new type eras, and just keeping the subgenre of trap music kind of moving forward within these aspects. So excellent type tone. So in terms of future did drop 3 albums in 2024, pitches like that. So it's kind of the ordeal as far as saying he dropped like some mixtape type product throughout. He has a number of albums I'm going to get to. Eventually, I'll get to the Hendrix album pitches like that. Some of these type fairs from the pitch as far as those products can have. So just excellent type blistering type appeal. This is like another type classic. Just kind of a quieter type one, not so much quieter within those senses. It did have some capital type appeal. Just kind of the product as far as saying. It's just the fact that the direction behind this is just surprising, that the aspect behind the singles that kind of went off on this product were different from like the usual type future that you got here. So it just felt than a differential type aspect, but it's just varietized enough to kind of say it's just kind of a more just kind of more eccentric in like the format of like the promotion type process for it, but it's really just vintage feature within these aspects when you look past the surface of the single. So it's this kind of aspect behind it. It has the viciousness, not quite as furiously vicious as Dirty Sprite 2, but definitely the aspects as far as saying that. So it just has the conic, like some typical kind of trap fair blisters like that. So it's this excellent type product that really hits like a whirlwind.